I'm going to show you guys some tips and tricks for replacing the thermostat on a 4-liter inline 6 Jeep. And first things first, I want to show you guys that you can do it without having to remove these coolant hoses from the thermostat housing. And you can leave the belt on to get to the 2 bolts. As you can see, I have mine both removed, and I even have the coolant temp sensor still hooked up, as you can see. So I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way and show you guys the thermostat. And since I've been waiting on a gasket, you can see surface rust is starting to build up, so I'm going to have to clean this off. But every single time I put this thermostat housing on and started torquing everything down, I still had a coolant leak from the thermostat housing. Matter of fact, it's a brand new thermostat housing because I cracked the first one, and I went through 3 gaskets. I have 3 gaskets here, and you can see they've all torn at the bottom. All 3 of them, they've torn exactly the same way. And then it took me a second to figure out what was going on. There's a small ledge that the thermostat sits inside of when you put it in the head, and if you barely touch it, it'll come out of the ledge and it will lay against the head, and then your housing won't sit flush up against the thermostat and the head. So what happens is you'll rip the gasket like I did, and the first time I done it, I cracked the thermostat housing. So that was all because the thermostat was out of place. It fell out of that little groove. So at the very top, I dabbed just a little bit of RTV to hold the thermostat in place. So you're gonna make sure that this is in place. Like I said, I use RTV to hold it in place. And then now we're gonna clean everything off and put our gasket in and make sure the thermostat does not slide out of that groove, or else you're going to keep going through gaskets and you're going to have a leak every single time. That's what was happening with my Jeep, is every time I tried to put the thermostat housing on and torque it down, I would have a small leak at the bottom, and that's what it was every single time. It's the thermostat just falling out of place. So definitely keep an eye on that. Like I said, use RTV. I just dabbed a small little bit on the top, holds it in place. So that way I can put this whole assembly, thermostat housing, coolant lines, everything back over top of the thermostat and bolt it back onto the head. So yeah, FYI, if you guys are having leaks after a thermostat replacement, that is what is happening